This is Act 3, Scene 4. The murder of Banquo has just happened, and now we're back into the castle at the banquet that they're going to have that night. As they come back into the banquet, Macbeth is saying to all the noblemen, you know your own degree, sit down. So this is the way they would do this. The thanes, the noblemen would come in by their rank, and they would sit, the closer to the king they sat, the higher in rank they were. So he says, you know where you're supposed to sit, so come in and sit down that way. At first and last, hearty welcome. He says, I'm going to not sit right now. I'm going to mingle with everyone and be a good host. Lady Macbeth will be moving around in her hostess. The first murderer comes to the door, and Macbeth goes to the door and says, has it been done? And he looks at the murderer and he says, there's blood on your face. The murderer responds, 'tis Banquo's then. Macbeth is, it's better on the outside of you than on the inside of him. Is he dead? He says, yes, my lord, his throat is cut. And he goes, you are the best of the cutthroats, but whoever killed Flint is just as good. And then they have to say, my lord, Flint's escaped. Macbeth turns aside, not to the murderers, but so they don't hear him. He goes, then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect. And this is, causing him to go back into the scorpions of his mind. He says, now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound in saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe. Notice the irony of the use of the word safe. Banquo's safely dead. He's certainly not safe. I, my lord, the murderer replies, safe in a ditch he bides, with 20 trenchant gashes on his head. 'Tis a death to nature. So notice this, 20 gashes on his head. So not only did they kill him, but they sliced him up pretty good. Macbeth says, thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. So now Banquo's the serpent. Remember, he was his best friend. Remember at the beginning when they were coming back from battle? The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed, he says. No teeth for the present. So Banquo is the serpent. He is dead, but the worm, who is the smaller of the serpent, has fled. He's still out there. I won't be content until that one is dead as well. The murderers leave, and Lady Macbeth comes to him and says, my royal lord, you do not give the cheer. It's time for you to give the toast. Everybody is waiting for you. You need to come in. Macbeth goes over to do that, and he sees no empty chair. The ghost of Banquo has come in and sat down in Macbeth's chair. Lennox says, my lord, please sit right here. Just like the dagger that Macbeth saw in his mind, Macbeth says, should we wait for Banquo? Now, Macbeth is the one who calls his name. He knows that he's dead, but he's playing the part, that false face, remember? And Ross says, Macbeth, come on, sit down. Macbeth says, the table's full. And Lennox says, no, here's your seat. And Macbeth says, where? So nobody can see the ghost of Banquo except Macbeth. He's seeing it in his head. And when he sees what it is, that it is a man with 20 gashes and the blood on his head, he says, who's done this? Who's responsible for this? He thinks that they're playing with him. And they go, what? And he says to the ghost sitting there, you cannot say I did this. Don't shake your gory locks, your bloody hair. Don't shake that at me. You can't say I did this. To the crowd, this will look very strange for Macbeth to be talking to an empty chair and saying, you can't say I did it. Ross says, gentlemen, rise. His Highness is not well. Here comes Lady Macbeth in. Remember when she fainted earlier in Act 2 after the discovery of the body? And she's doing that same kind of thing now where she swoops in and she says, oh, no, everybody have a seat. My lord is often thus. He has fits. He's had them since his childhood. Ignore it. He'll be fine in a minute. Just if you pay attention to it, it will get worse. So everybody just carry on. And then she says to Macbeth, she goes to him and she says, are you a man? Back in her mode of that feminine masculine, she's saying, you're not acting like a man. Get strong, Macbeth. What are you doing? And he goes, who could look at that and not be afraid? Of course, he doesn't know that she can't see it either. And she goes, what? Oh, proper stuff? This is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you said led you to Duncan. She says, you're seeing things again. It's the same thing as when you saw that dagger. She says, and she hits at his masculinity again, all these flaws and starts. Impostors to true fear would well become a woman's story at her winter's fire, authorized by her grandmother. Shame itself. Why do you make such faces? He must be responding in his face to her. When all's done, you look but on a stool. Stop looking like that. You're going to give it away, Macbeth. You're going to ruin everything. It's an empty chair. Macbeth says, no, it's not. Look, there it is. And he sees it again. And he's saying, I can't look on this. If you can't nod, speak too. Telling the ghost to say something to me. Lady Macbeth says, you're unmanned. You see that? There we go with the feminine masculine. Unmanned in your folly and your craziness. You've lost your strength. And Macbeth says, no, if I stand here, I saw him. It was real. I know I saw what I saw. Watch what Macbeth says. Blood hath been shed ere now in the olden time, ere humane statutes purged the gentle weal, and since 2 murders have been performed too terrible. So he says the time has been that when the brains were out, the man would die and there it end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, or gashes on their heads. Crown, again, the royal, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is. So, bottom line, he's saying, well, it used to be when you killed somebody, they stayed dead. And now they seem to be coming back up, and they're gory, and I don't understand this.